Your real estate investment just arrived, and when you set your eyes on your wheels for the first time, you wish they would always look this good. After all, determining the proper size, design, and finish wasn't easy, and your wheels deserve to be noticed right down to the fine details. So let's protect them and keep them looking new for many years to come. Ideally, we would like to do this to new wheels before the tires go on or right after. Doing it either way has its own advantage. I would say that it's easier to work with when the tires are on, but you can get slightly more coverage if you do it beforehand. However, it will mostly depend on your tire shop and the weights they use, so ask them if their weights will stick onto ceramic coating before doing this. The last thing you want is to have your wheel weights come off and damage your new wheels. But even if your wheels already have some miles on them, you'll just want to double up on each of the preparation steps, once with a brush and secondly with a mitt. Start with the wheel and tire cleaner to knock off all the brake dust. I really like this particular one as it can be used on both wheels and tires, and isn't so strong that it will eat away at your wheel's finish. It can even be used during regular car washes without the risk of removing the ceramic coating. Using both a brush and a mitt will allow you to fully clean the wheel even in the tighter areas, like the details and bends of the spoke. With the wheel cleaned, let's give it a rinse and apply the strip wash next. Unlike our wheel and tire cleaner, this soap is not what you'll want to use during your regular car washes, but only for cases like this where you want to remove all oils, waxes, and finishes. This will bring us right down to the surface of the wheel's clear coat, exactly where we want the ceramic coat to bond for maximum longevity. Using a shampoo with waxes or paint protectants is fine for regular washes, where it will go on top of the ceramic coat. But here we don't want anything in between the clear coat and ceramic coating. So take your time and get into all those fine details of your wheel. Our last cleaning step is the chemical decontamination step, with the clay mitt and iron remover as the clay lubricant. This is very important if your wheels already have been on the road, as they may have some tar and brake dust embedded in them. This step will remove all of that. Here it isn't as evident, but if you start to see the iron remover turn purple, that's just the solution reacting to the iron particles. As for wheel weights, just treat them as they are part of the wheel since we'll coat them too. If you have black dots that continue to persist after this step, you'll want to use a tar remover as well. Just don't allow the iron remover to sit on your wheels too long and give it a good rinse before moving on. If it turns really purple, do a second coat, which should be much lighter, then move on to the rinse step before drying off the wheel. However, if you have some hard to reach spots as we do on these wheels, then you'll need actual clay. And in this case, a little corner piece is all that was needed for these holes that got the floss treatment. For brand new wheels, using a light clay and mitt will do the trick. But depending on your wheel's condition, you may want to step up to a heavier clay in order to get out all the contaminants. If you prefer, you could also separate these steps and use a dedicated clay lubricant, so long as it doesn't have any waxes, polishes, or paint protectants. With the entire wheel washed, it now needs to be fully dried. It's very important that we have the wheel completely dry in order for the ceramic coat to completely bond to it. To ensure that the wheel was fully dry, I coated 2 wheels at the same time, and at this point I would let the first wheel air dry while I brought the other wheel up to this step. Once it's dried, we can apply our IPA prep spray. This will act as a bond promoter for the ceramic coat, and if your wheels have already been heavily used, then you could add a polishing step here. However, this is more than enough if your wheels have never hit the road yet. You'll also want your ceramic coat close by, as your wheels will feel very grabby, which is what we want, but we don't want them to grab onto any dirt particles, pet hair, or anything else that could be floating in the air. Now for the main attraction. In your box, you should get a plastic card, the ceramic coat in a glass bottle, a microfiber towel, a foam block with a hard and soft side, a pair of gloves, 3 micro suede applicators, and stickers. Take one of your applicators and place it on the soft side of the block, and with the card, tuck in the sides. Now give the bottle a good shake and apply a generous amount to the micro suede. During application, do your best to apply the ceramic coating in a crosshatch pattern to ensure full coverage. Here I started from the inner portion of the face and worked my way towards the barrel. This way the chances of ceramic coating getting on your arms or clothes is reduced. As for those areas that the foam block can't get to, just get what you can and we'll address those areas in a bit. If the block starts to feel rough and you can no longer see the coating being applied, feel free to add a little bit more, but not as much as the first application. A little bit of this stuff goes a long way. 2 bottles were enough to double coat the entire 2 series, calipers, and wheels. To double coat all 4 wheels, I used a little less than a third of 1 bottle. With the inner barrel and lip coated, let's go for those tighter areas with a polishing pad that we will apply the ceramic coat directly on, and because of its flexibility, we should be able to get any spots that we missed. Just be careful when adding the ceramic coating to the polishing pad, as it doesn't hold on to it as well as the provided block and micro suede combination. So start with a small amount first, remembering that we aren't using this to cover as much surface area as before. As for the face of the wheel, since there is a decent amount of curvature and holes, we'll be using the polishing pad exclusively here. Technically, you could use the provided foam block to address the flatter front facing portion, but I found it easier to stick to one applicator type here. Depending on your wheel's design, it might be better to use this pad, a polishing stick, or even a finger mitt. You just need something that is malleable and won't leave material behind like cotton balls and swabs. For this situation, I think that this pad did a good job of getting into the holes and curvature of the spokes. But I'll leave a few other suggestions as well as everything in this video in the description links. Another good thing about these pads is that they can really get in between the tire and lip of the wheel. Or if your shop is okay with ceramic coating the wheels beforehand, this is much easier. Just don't get it on the Motorsport knurling if you have it. We want the surface area to grab onto the tires as much as possible to ensure the tires stay on. Getting ceramic coating in this area will drastically reduce the effectiveness of this feature. By the time you fully coat the fronts, the rear section should be ready to be buffed out with the provided microfiber towel, or you can give yourself a 10-minute timer. Buffing out the ceramic coating should be a very easy process. I actually accidentally forgot to buff out my mirror cap, and even after sitting overnight, it was still really easy to take off. If you want to give the face a little bit more time with the coating before you remove it, you could coat your center caps during this time. I would also recommend going over the wheel again with a clean microfiber cloth and give it at least an hour before applying a second coat. Also use new towels during the second coat, as the ceramic coat could harden on the first set of towels and scratch your wheels. In terms of durability and longevity, Avalon King guarantees at least 2 years of protection and up to 5 years. But that would be in optimal conditions, such as parking it in a garage and using the refresh spray during regular car washes. Since wheels get a ton of abuse and dirt, I'm looking forward to seeing how this holds up, as we'll do a long-term review video down the road. Time to apply some tire dressing before throwing on your wheels. This one has a mild gloss and, more importantly, doesn't sling onto the car. Now your newly coated wheels and tires will have that distinctive pop for a longer period of time in between washes and be much easier to clean in the future. I also hope that if you went up in wheel size, that you don't have any rubbing issues as we did here. But if you start to see these wear marks on your tires and fender, then you'll want to check out this video that shows you how easy rolling them can be. And I'll see you in that one.